Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Monday. It's August 5th. This will be our chart lesson for the day, and it was a pretty incredible day, all downhill. It's really two-legged move. Notice that we had this first move down. Really, this is a spike in a channel. Notice how we spike down and go into this sideways channel, and we had a little correction here and continued on down. And usually that larger correction. Usually it'll be a two-legged correction. Today it really wasn't. It was just a correction, and then we had another leg down. So I would measure from up here first, but then I would measure from here to here, and then from there on would be. Then you'd look for a measured move, and you can see that is about where we got to. We actually went a little further than that. The market really got a little oversold down here. Notice how we had a little bit of correction, only to bring it back again. And this is a pretty incredible move. I mean, really, this is a 100-point move today, which is fairly rare for the ES. You don't see many 100-day moves, 100-point day moves in the ES. So um, I marked a lot of trades here, but I'll be honest with you, you could probably argue for more in here. Um, Once you realize you're in a strong downtrend right through here, there's secondary trends all through here. You'll see them as we narrow down into this stuff. Uh, but when you get in a real strong downtrend, pretty much every time you come back to the trend line or the key entry point, if there's a good setup, you want to enter. Again, I only mark the best trades. You only need two or three of these, so don't take risky trades. Some people send me emails saying, "What about this trade? Why did it fail?" And it's just so risky. When you got a day like this, why enter a risky trade? A few people I think got messed up right in here, but we had some temporary support right in there. It took a minute to work on through, and then we bounced, and of course then it was off to the races again with that second leg down. And we, like I said, we closed over 100 points down. Even with this rally here, that it doesn't look like a big rally, but we rallied from maybe 28.20 to 28.50, which is 30 points. That's a pretty big rally, only to see it take it all back again by the close almost. So very interesting day, very volatile, very strong day, and you got to be careful on days like this because there will be strong rallies on down days like this. This was a relatively strong rally right here. You won't see me marking any buys. Don't try to buy these things. It's just not very smart. This wasn't a bad. This was a relatively strong rally here, and then this was a really big volatile rally here because um, the market had just gotten way oversold, only to see it sell off again. Of course, this is all after 2 o'clock here, and I didn't mark anything. So I'm going to back out. We'll talk about the trades. There's a lot of them, even though I probably didn't mark everything that was possible to take. So um, I'm going to move through these pretty quickly to get through all of them. But just know and understand that there's probably are some other trades in here that you could have taken. And I maybe didn't mark them all. But 7 o'clock came right in here. Um, can't remember exactly where it was. It was right in here somewhere. Yeah, it was right on this big move down right here. So there's a lower high right here again, and that's one you probably could have taken. It's not a perfect signal bar though, so I didn't mark it. But then you get the failed second entry long right here, and again, it's not a great signal bar. But at this point, I would be looking at least for. I'd measure this leg right here and say, hey, we'll probably get a measured leg down, and you see where that brings you back to from that point right back to the trend channel line, but this thing just keeps going. So this is a fairly strong trend moving down here, but I think the better, like I said, you could have gone short here, but the better trade is to wait on the failure, and then it doesn't matter so much what the signal bar looks like. Just make sure you got room to get out. It comes back here. This is really close to a little double bottom here, and then and of course these are all off the trend channel line. There is a second entry short right here, right after they open. That was one. It's not a great signal bar, but that's one that I probably would take if I wasn't already managing something. If I didn't already have a runner or something I was managing. And you want to try to hold runners on days like this, because if you get one, I mean, imagine letting a runner run 100 points. One runner. It's a lot of money. So in one day. Most people probably not going to hang on that long, especially through some of the hard rallies. But you know, it's worth the gamble if you want to try to do that. So you want to try to get runners on days like this. But yeah, there is a second entry short right off the key entry point. Not a perfect signal bar, but that's still relatively bearish. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger. It's just so hard with all the volatility and so much price action to get it going. And notice that there's the bigger two-tiered channel, but there's also the two-tiered red channel working through here. And that's what I'm playing on right here. All the way down, you see it bouncing off that trend line. And then we get a break and a new low, but we're still just traveling on down and working off the EMA and the blue midline. So if you get a setup, you want to keep rolling with it. And then finally, I really treated this like a failed second entry long. It is a failed second entry long, because notice you're moving down first entry and then you come on down and you get a second entry, and when it breaks lower right here, that's when it's a failure. That's why I like that one. It does come back and give you a second entry short too, but the bar is just so big and so close to the lows, I think you're better off to skip that one. This does become a new high because it's a double top, so first entry and you get another second entry right here and a really small bar. So that gave you, and there's really a hidden second entry there. Notice you move up, move down, and move up. So there's a hidden second entry. I like that one. That's probably one of the smaller bars we saw this morning. And off it goes again. Then we bounce. And notice you get a little trend line working up through here. And at this point, you got to say, hey, we could be going all the way back to the main trend line on this blue channel. So you got to be careful here. And I just didn't see, I don't have a very good signal bar here, not a very good one here. There is a lower high here, but it's right into the lows. I don't think you want to risk it. It is off this short-term trend line. It's a possibility. It's another one of those. Like I said, there's going to be some of those in here, but I'm only going to mark the best trades because there's just so many trades. And then of course we're working up. There's a second entry short here. Again, it would have worked, but it's not a very good setup just simply because we're not back down to here. We passed through here once, and it looks like we're trying to pass through again. So we're probably headed up here at some point. So you got to be real careful. But then you get the break of the trend line, a new high, and that's a fairly bearish bar. There's another possibility to go short. But here's the better when you finally get a lower high, big bearish bar. There's actually a failed second entry short here, but you don't want to go short. This is where we started to get some support here that kind of was holding. So you got to be real careful here. And then finally you push through, and then you get another lower high, and it was bullish there, and it broke up, and look how bearish that bar is. I like that trade. That gives you a great chance to get back in this thing. And now you know that we've pushed through there a couple of times. Notice how we're making lower lows every time. We did make a higher high one time there. And notice how everything's finally closed, not only below the EMA, it's below the midline, and it's a breakout pullback short as well. So this was a better place to enter. And you would have had a runner there. Off it goes. And then here we come with one of those strong rallies. I mean, like I said, this is 30-point rally here. And this turns out to be the middle of the pattern here as well. I didn't mark any longs here. I just think it's too risky on a day like this. Doesn't mean that you couldn't take them. Once we got above the EMA and we're bouncing off here, if you get a good setup, you could argue for it. There is a failed second entry short right here that would have been a good entry, but I just think it's just too risky to take these trades to the long side. Just wait. Trend that strong coming down is probably going to at least retest the low, and you may get another leg down, which is exactly what we did happen. We got another leg down. Notice you're working up. You finally get a close. You try to go long once. You try to go long twice, and it fails. And if we break lower below this inside bar, we're probably going lower. I like that one. Lower high right here, but it's right into the low of that swing. And look how it's just kind of choppy. You just don't see anything really good there. And then, of course, you got another little trend up. You get a close outside, new high. That's a really bearish bar. That's one that's a possibility. Here's a lower high, another possibility. But the better one is when you finally get the failure on the failed second entry long right here. When it breaks lower right there below that big bearish bar, I like going short. And again, you get another runner and off to the races it goes. Comes back. I actually drew this line off the lows here and drug it up, and it comes back to it right here. And notice you got a new low first entry, and you come up, and when it broke lower, that's a nice bearish bar second entry. And notice how you got a couple of bounces off that trend line. I like that one. Again, another runner. There's a lower high right here, and there is enough room to get out, but it's a little risky. And notice it does come back and make the failure there. And another bearish bar. And even if this gapped over, it's only a few ticks, and it does come back and fill you, so you could have used a limit order there. And off it goes again, another runner. And it's just running lower, and I don't see any other good entries here. This is one you might have considered, but the only problem is you got to go short at the low of the day, and that's just never a good idea. But same thing right here. This one's even more risky because you've bounced here a few times, where here at least you haven't bounced out right in here before. It doesn't take it but a minute to bounce. Another second entry here, but now you're right off the low of the main two-tiered channel. So we're probably going to get a bounce here. I don't think you want to risk anything here, even though there is a second entry there and it would have worked. Why risk it when you're getting all these great trades and it's such a strong downtrend? So here we come back to the other side. Same thing going long. Why risk it? I just think it's too risky on a day like this. Of course, you get a break here, you move up, and you get a big bearish bar right off the key entry point. You got to take that one. Lower high right here, but too bullish on my chart. Failed second entry long here, but you've already got two legs down and moved a good bit. I'd be leery of going short right there, right into the low of that swing. And look exactly what happens. And plus, you probably should draw your little short-term trend line there. And you can see you really just now get a close outside here. But when you, on this big rally after the break and moves up, big bearish bar way away from the EMA, the first break of this main trend line working down through here that's been running for all morning basically, I'd probably take that trade, even though you might wait on a lower high. The problem is you don't get one here till way down here. And now you've moved so far, even though you get a second entry here, don't take that because you've moved so far, you're overdue to come back probably. Again, it's not a very good signal ball of mine. Again, it would have worked, but and that's the way it is on strong trends. But anyway, there's a lower high right there. I wouldn't take that. The reason I do like this one right here because it broke higher, and so you got a lower high right there. And of course it's running down through here, and you get a couple of breaks higher, but again, I wouldn't take them. Just wait on a better entry. There's actually a lower high here, but it's really close right there. So until you get that trap, when it breaks higher, I'd wait till there and enter. Notice even then, as soon as it made a new low, it bounced, but it just gives you another chance to enter. And now we're really playing this darker channel here that started on the rally. We did have a break here, but I would look for at least a measured and move down when we got that break outside. Measure that one, which first, which you can see, you basically get that measured move there, but then I would measure both of them if we start lower again, because that could just be one leg. you can see where that gives you a target to. We didn't quite get that one. But anyway, you did have a higher low right there, or a lower high is what I should say, because we're working down, so you're looking for a lower high. You got the close outside, a new high, and then a lower high with plenty of room to get out. I wouldn't take any of these little corrections just because you're going short into the lows. Again, it comes back. You actually get a new swing high. It's higher than that one. So you get a first entry, second entry. It fails. It actually breaks higher and fails and turns down. I like that one. And that's the first break of this little shorter term trend working down. Bounces, comes back. You get a lower high on the second entry right there. Another great entry. There's even another second entry right there, right at the 2 o'clock hour. I didn't mark it because of the time, but there's another one. So again, there's lots of trades in here you could argue for, but when you got that strong a downtrend and you're getting that many good trades, why risk these? You know, if it's not a perfect trade, just wait, because it won't be long. Even if you got to wait 30 minutes or an hour, which I doubt you will on a day like this, except at a few points. Why risk it? Just wait, because you'll get a better trade. You'll get a good trade, a simple, an easy to read trade that works quickly and easily. Because it's just too risky getting short too close to the swing lows, because at some point they all bounce and you get these real strong rallies. And you don't want to get caught on one of those. So anyway, very interesting day, very strong sell-off. You can see it there. Again, you got the original two-tiered channel, and then we got a close outside. That's just the middle of the pattern, though, and then you get the darker two-tiered channel working down. And within there's lots of little small trends and stuff. Same thing here, this two-tiered red one working down within this bigger two-tiered blue one up here in the first half, the first leg down. So, I mean, if you marked everything possible here, you probably come up with 25 trades today that you could possibly take. But again, why take a risky trade when you got so many good setups and such a strong downtrend, and when you can catch a runner? I mean, you catch one or two of these runners, and you might make a week's worth of profit on one trade in one day. So. And if you wanted to be really brave and ride this out all the way into the close, which you could have, because you'd had so much profit, but it'd be hard to watch it take 30 points back from you. Would be me anyway, especially after 2 o'clock. So even though it did give it all back to you mostly before the close, most people aren't going to ride. They're not going to watch 30 points evaporate. You're going to get too nervous and exit. So, but just assuming that you did let one ride and you got a So you just got half that, 50 points on one single runner today. That's a lot of money on a single runner. So it's an incredible day. We don't get a lot of days like this. Very volatile. A lot of big bars. And I get that question all the time too. I might as well answer that before we call it a day. But you get these, people say the bar is too big to enter with the 2-point rule. And on volatile days like this, that's going to be the case 9 times out of 10 probably. But what you have to do is, if you don't take them, you're just going to miss all these great trades. So you pretty much just have to take it, and whatever additional, let's just say it takes you 15 ticks to get in instead of 8. Those other 7 ticks, extra ticks that it took, add that to your profit, because it's easier to get more than 4 ticks on days like this. You'll get multiple points in most cases. So you can either do it that way, or you can try and enter on a limit order with a little better entry. But the problem with that on such a strong downtrend day on the best trades, it's not going to come back and fill a limit order. So in other words, you have to get in with still enough room to get your stop above. In this case, since we're going down, you're trying to get your stop. Let me just show you a trade here as an example. Like right here, I don't know how many ticks are in that bar. Let's just see. Well, let's get the right one here. There are 11 ticks in that, so you can't put your stop up here and enter one tick below that and get within the 8 tick or 2-point rule. So since there's 11, you're going to need an extra 3 or 4 ticks. So just add those 3 or 4 ticks to your profit, and you can see you could have easily got a runner there, so you wouldn't have any problem getting those extra 3 or 4 ticks that you had to do to get in there. The other option is wait for it to break lower and drop a limit order further back up in here that puts you within the 8 tick rule, and see if it'll come back and fill you and then go back down. And in this case, it wouldn't have. You'd have missed this trade, and that was a great trade because that's an easy runner. So the only way you really could have got in this trade was to enter the normal way, put your stop up here, and just add to your profits. That's the only way to do it there. And you'll see that in many cases, but that's what I'm referring to. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. It could stay volatile like this for a while, and we could see some big rallies. Every time we get big sell-offs like this, it's just eventually it turns into a great buying opportunity. One day that may not be the case, but every time I've seen it in the last few years, a couple of days like this is a great buying opportunity. So just be aware of that. We could see a big rally soon. Even if we're going lower, we could still see a big rally, just like we saw a 30-point rally right here during the day. So we've fallen a long way in a very short period of time here, off the all-time highs. So just keep that in mind. But I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. Hope you had a good trading day. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.